Right now, somewhere on Earth, a person is sitting in a room full of soft light, surrounded by everything they could ever need. Food in the fridge, a locked door, a warm bed, complete safety. And they feel an ache in their chest that they can't explain. Nothing is wrong, nothing is hunting them, nothing is missing. And yet some quiet voice in the back of their skull keeps whispering the same impossible message. You are not safe. Something is wrong. You need to get back. Back to what? That feeling has a name. We call it loneliness, and we treat it like a mood, like a bad day, like something that passes. But loneliness is not a mood. Loneliness is an alarm. The same kind of alarm as hunger, the same kind of alarm as thirst. And tonight, when that ache comes for you, it's repeating a warning that is over 300,000 years old. To understand why, you have to leave the warm room behind. You have to go back to a world where being alone wasn't sad, it was a death sentence. Imagine the Ice Age. The wind cuts across an open plain like something with teeth. The temperature drops far below freezing, and the darkness comes early. You are a human being, small and slow, with no claws, no thick fur, no real defense against the cold, or the things that move inside it. You cannot outrun a predator. You cannot outfight a wolf. Alone, you are simply meat that happens to be standing upright. But you are not alone. Behind you, there is a fire. Around that fire, there are maybe 30 other people. People who know your name. People who will share their food when your hunt fails. People who will stay awake and watch the dark while you sleep. That circle of firelight is the single most important thing in your entire universe. Inside it, you live. Outside it, you don't. This is the world that built your brain. And in that world, the group wasn't a luxury. The group was your skin, your shelter, your immune system, your entire survival strategy fused into one living thing. A human alone in the Ice Age had a survival chance of almost zero. Not low, zero. So evolution did something clever, and a little bit cruel. It made being alone hurt. Think about how hunger works. Your body needs energy, but your conscious mind is busy. You're not going to remember to eat based on logic. So evolution installed a feeling, a gnawing, insistent, impossible to ignore signal that drags your attention back to a basic survival need. Thirst works the same way. Pain works the same way. These feelings aren't emotions in the romantic sense. They are biological alarms, hardwired to force you toward the thing that keeps you alive. And here is the part most people never realize. Loneliness is built from the exact same blueprint. When you become socially isolated, your brain doesn't politely suggest you find some company. It panics. It floods your system with stress hormones. Cortisol rises. Your sleep gets worse. Your blood pressure climbs. Your body starts behaving as if it's under physical threat, because for almost all of human history, social isolation was a physical threat. Your ancient ancestors didn't drift away from the group and feel a little blue. They drifted away from the group and got eaten. So the brains that survived, the brains that became your brain, were the ones that treated separation like an emergency. Now think about what that means for you, tonight, in your perfectly safe apartment. Your front door is locked, there are no wolves, and your nervous system does not know that. It is running ancient software on modern hardware. It cannot tell the difference between being cast out of an Ice Age tribe and scrolling through your phone at midnight feeling like nobody would notice if you disappeared. To your brain, those are the same signal, the same alarm. Get back to the group or you will die. But it gets darker, because the worst punishment in the ancient world wasn't a predator. It was your own people. In a small band of 30 humans, there were no police, no prisons, no second chances written into law. There was only one ultimate punishment, and it was banishment, exile. Being pushed out beyond the firelight and told never to return. Picture that moment. A man has broken the trust of the group. Maybe he stole food during a famine. Maybe he endangered everyone. And so, one cold morning, the others simply turn away from him. No one shares a glance. No one passes him a portion. He is still standing in the same valley, breathing the same air, but he has become invisible. And then he walks out into the open, alone, with no one to watch his back while he sleeps. Anthropologists who study isolated human cultures find this pattern again and again. Exile was often a slower, more terrifying form of execution, which means somewhere in your deep ancestry, the experience of being rejected by your people was, literally, lethal. And evolution, once again, was paying attention. It wired the human brain so that social rejection would hurt almost exactly like a physical wound. This isn't a metaphor. Brain scans show that when a person is socially rejected, the regions that light up are some of the very same regions that process physical pain. When someone says they have a broken heart, they are not exaggerating. Your brain is processing that loss through the same circuitry it uses for a broken bone. Because to your ancestors, losing the group and losing your body were nearly the same event. So the loneliness you feel is not weakness. It is not a character flaw. It is one of the most sophisticated survival mechanisms evolution ever built, doing its job perfectly in a world it no longer understands. And that's the tragedy hidden inside all of this. Your alarm system was designed for a tribe of 30 faces you saw every single day. It expected a lifetime spent within arm's reach of the same people, sharing every meal, every hunt, every fear. It never imagined a world of cities filled with millions of strangers. It never imagined you could be surrounded by more human beings than your ancestors met in 10 lifetimes, and still feel completely, achingly alone. Because the alarm was never measuring how many people are near you, it was measuring how many people would stay, how many would share their food when you had none, how many would keep watch while you slept. And modern life is brilliant at giving us crowds, while quietly starving us of that. So your brain pulls the same lever it has always pulled. It sends the signal, the ache, the pull. Get back, find your people. You are not safe out here. It doesn't know that the danger is gone. It only knows the ancient rule that kept every one of your ancestors alive long enough to have children. Stay with the group, no matter what. And maybe that's worth sitting with for a moment. The next time loneliness arrives, late at night, in a quiet room, and tells you something is wrong, you don't have to believe the lie that you are broken. You can recognize it for what it actually is. It's a message. It's a signal sent across hundreds of thousands of years from a long line of survivors who lived because they could not bear to be alone. Every one of them felt this exact ache. Every one of them obeyed it, and every one of them walked back toward the fire. That ache in your chest tonight is not your enemy. It's the oldest instinct you have, still trying to save your life, still pulling you back toward the warmth of other people. It is the ghost of the firelight, and after all this time, it is still the same thing it whispered to the very first humans who ever felt afraid of the dark. Don't go out there alone. Come back.